time is so, so far away. You're counting down the seconds every single day. What are you to do? Well, there's one venue I recommend you turn to, where your magic withdrawal will finally be cured. Spend 3 days a week with Super Walt Disney World nerds. You can depend on Matt, Mike, and WTW today. Oh,
It's Monday, September 1st, 2008, and this is episode 456 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. On the show today with me, it's Len Testa, co-author of the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. And Len, we're still newless, and now Scopa's abandoned us. Annette's been gone for a couple shows. Do you feel like a rat on a sinking ship?
All I'm saying is I've got you, babe.
So, am I Sonny? Is that what you're saying?
I think he's dead, so I think I'd rather be Cher.
Yeah,
Although,
point taken.
I hope you're recording this, because that's the only time I think I'm ever going to say that. So I've been playing Guitar Hero like a fiend for the last few days, to the point where my fingers are cramping all the time on my left hand. But I think pretty soon I'm going to be ready enough to go on tour.
Nice.
I think I'm ready.
Nice. Very good.
Ready. Yeah.
So since, again, Newell's not here, Scope is not here, Annette's not here, Len and I aren't original enough to come up with an idea, so we said, let's dip into the email bag and answer some questions. It's a sensible thing to do.
I was caring more about our readers than about coming up with some wacky thing.
That's right. You know,
ahead,
I think it's time we were honest with our listeners that Scopa and Newell don't care about our listeners. It's us that really care about them. We're always saying, let's answer their questions, and they say, no.
We're here. We're there for service. I care. I hear you.
That's right.
That's where I was going with that.
All right.
Message. I care. Go ahead.
So let's start out with a question from
The answer is
a question
17 and a half. Wait, hold on. I'm getting it. Through the yacht club. Go ahead. All right. Now read the question to verify for everyone that I was.
Well, of course, the answer would be 42.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Another subtle Mr. Sensator.
Official guide.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Hitchhiker's Guide. Yeah. Whatever. That's a guide.
Unofficial Guide to the Galaxy. All right. First email today is from Eileen Haslett of Wheaton, Illinois, who writes, "What's an e-ticket? I've heard you guys mention it along with other podcasts which shall remain nameless. Thanks for your help. I love your podcast. You guys are hilarious."
So an e-ticket is the best ride that Disney can come up with. It refers back to when they used to actually have to have paper tickets to go on rides, and the paper tickets were graded by letters A, B, C, D, and E, with A being the least expensive for the smallest, simplest rides like, I don't know, Cinderella's Golden Carousel,
right.
All the way up through E, which is like a headliner attraction like Space Mountain or Splash Mountain or something like that. Now, Disney did away with those back in, what, the 80s, the 70s?
Yeah,
early 80s?
I think if latest the 80s, I would think.
Yeah.
So, but the term still remains. I mean, really, it's a good way of kind of describing a new attraction in terms of what the scope of the attraction is. You know, so, this will be a new e-ticket attraction like Everest.
Right.
You know, that was something we were talking about. But if something's going to be like maybe a smidge below an e-ticket attraction, then we call it maybe a D-ticket attraction or something like that. So
think of it like also on a 1 to 5 scale, 5 being the best. It's that. Now, I think if Scopa were here, he would not use A through e-ticket. He would use phrases like
I through V.
The B's. I through IV, right?
Yeah, this is definitely an IV attraction.
It's nice. He would say it's the bee's knees.
It's
the cat's meow. Yeah,
right.
That's Scopa.
Next email is from Greg Sagrasso of Atlanta, Georgia, who writes, "Just heard your show about guest fleecing, and yes, I hate it when prices increase, especially to the point that you mentioned, especially after such a huge revenue increase in the most recent quarter. But to the devil's advocate, on top of the increasing their revenue more, if they are still heading up to the top of the mountain when increasing price generates more revenue, eventually it will come down, obviously, they might be trying to give more room to things. Having less strollers and ECVs could cause less hassle and less people at the specialty parties, which could be better for those who attend. Clearly, it's the wrong message to send. I have 3 daughters, 5 and 3 this summer, 1 in the fall, and our stroller broke on the last day. We rented a double for basically one child, and it was great. We were planning to do that next time, but we'll probably not now because of the price increase. We're in every other year kind of family because of the ways the parks are too expensive to begin with. We think next summer with the two oldest being 6 and 4 will be perfect, and then leave the 2-year-old at home with one set of grandparents.
I think that's a great idea. It'd be interesting to see whether the number of double stroller rentals has gone down. My guess is it has to have because no one's paying that kind of money for a double stroller. Now, I wonder though if people are bringing more strollers themselves, or if they're doing the Walmart thing and buying them. That'd be an interesting thing to look at. When you check a stroller, I wonder if that costs. Is that like considered a checked bag on?
No, because they allow you to bring it all the way up to the plane, and then when you get on the jetway, they'll take it from you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
very good.
Yeah, that's a good question though.
I have noticed a small increase, and it could just be me, but I think I've noticed a small increase in stroller questions on the book. Like, can I bring the stroller on the monorail? Can I bring the stroller on the boat and things like that? So,
and in my experience, being in the parks with Scopa a couple weeks ago and Newell this past week, one of the things that I noticed also was that we did notice more personal strollers. We passed by the stroller parking area, and where it used to be a sea of theme park strollers, and now it's a little more diversity over there. You know what I mean? So
less stroller congestion in Fantasyland. That's probably a good thing.
Well, not necessarily less congestion, but also less of the Disney strollers, and the strollers people usually bring are a lot smaller.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there's fewer.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. Here's what I want to know: why were you in the parks with Scopa and with Newell, but not with me?
You weren't here, man.
Sad. Go ahead.
Greg adds, I've set up 2 families with the pointers I've gotten from your show and Len's book. I even sent a detailed account of our trip last summer to Len with some Jungle Cruise passes to check for, quote, expired dates.
Yes, I have them. That's awesome.
Very good. Next email.
I think the Jungle Cruise, no, they didn't make it in the book. I was going to use the Jungle Cruise pictures for FastPass, next edition of the book. Oh. Next edition going in. Yeah, it just didn't make it. Go ahead.
Okay. Interesting question coming up next from Heather from Fishers, Indiana, who writes, Hello, Matt, Mike, Len, and Annette. Thanks for the informative and entertaining podcast. I'm a long-time listener, first-time writer. We're heading down to the world in September 2008, right on time.
Awesome.
Trip number 4 for my 5-year-old. Sorry, Scopa.
Great.
That's my Scopa impression. This year, for the first time, we're traveling with...
Sounds constipated. Go ahead.
Well, it's multi-purpose, If we have to ever improvise, I'm set.
Go ahead.
This year, for the first time, we're traveling with another family. They also have a 5-year-old as well as a 2.5-year-old. The adults would love to try Teppan Edo this year, and I believe that the kids would enjoy the built-in entertainment. My question is this. Do you think that the restaurant will be willing to accommodate the picky eaters of the group? Is there any chance that we could be able to order chicken nuggets or other kid-type cuisine? According to the menus on All Ears, they are not on the menu.
I'm sure. When my brother got married, and this was a while ago, this is when it was still Mitsukoshi Teppanyaki, but okay, same people, same pavilion.
Right, same idea.
Same idea, right. We had, I don't know what it was, the pickiest group of adult eaters I have ever seen in my life. No one just ordered, like I'll have the steak and shrimp.
Right.
No one ordered. People were like, I want the lobster, but I don't want to see the tail. And other people wanted their vegetables separate. I'm like, ugh. So I'm sure the fact that none of us were stabbed to death by the waitstaff or the chef means that you could probably get away with.
Yeah. Oh no, I go there often with picky eaters. My fiance is very picky about her food. She doesn't.
Lovely.
Yeah, that's also true.
But lovely. Yeah,
but she, as picky as she is, she loves this place because what's great about it is you can get, the food, basically the meat comes and the vegetables come and you can really separate it out. They're very accommodating. As for the kids' meals, absolutely, they do have kids' meals available. Yeah. They have kids' meals at any restaurant. And that's what we usually call the Darcy dining plan, right, Len?
It is exactly for Darcy, our vegetarian researcher who wouldn't eat meat.
Right.
Yep. They can whip up something. I'm sure. Yeah. No problems there. You're not the first to pass this way. Nor will you be the last.
Nice.
Thank you.
But I love Teppan Edo. It is definitely
too.
My top 3 restaurants in Walt Disney World. I love it that much.
I noticed this last time. The service was much better, and the chef was amazing.
Yeah. Usually when you have the chefs, it can be kind of hit or miss. But really, they're all very good at just varying degrees of good. You know what I mean? I haven't really run into a dud yet.
No, I don't know what you mean by varying degrees of good. Wouldn't some varying degrees of good be bad?
It's just mediocre? It's just more gooder.
The wordplay on the show when it's just you and me. I think it's fantastic.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Next email is from Yvonne Mulfinger of Finksburg, Maryland. Who writes, I've recently heard about the Segway tours at Epcot and Fort Wilderness. They sound like a good time, particularly the morning Epcot tour, and I'm hoping to do this during our next trip this December. The part that concerns me is the weight limit of 250 pounds. My husband is 6'5" and weighs over 250 pounds. Do you have any information as to why this is? Will they not work at all? Is it less wear and tear on the machine? Do they weigh you in on site? For example, can I fudge the number? Will the off-road models accommodate larger people?
I mean, if he's like 265, I don't think they're going to pop him on the scale. But if he's pushing, 320,
yep.
And I think it's a combination of things. I think it's there probably is a weight limit on the Segway itself, but I think there's also Disney's got some sort of safety concerns that you don't. Maybe not. Maybe it is just a limit on thing. I was going to say that they don't want 300-pound individuals riding around at 12 miles an hour.
Yeah, I mean,
running into things, but you could say that about 200-pound individuals too. So I don't know what the big deal is.
Right. No, absolutely.
It's got to be the machine itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say dress in slimming clothes. Black is good. And do you want horizontal stripes?
No, I think stripes down. Vertical stripes make you look thinner.
Oh, right. Yeah, vertical stripes. Yeah. So dark vertical stripes. A nice pinstripe suit. I think it's the way to go there. Yeah.
There you go. One of the things I think it's a recommendation from the Segway manufacturers, not Disney. I looked up online, and they have a Segway tour in Washington, D.C., and obviously the same machine they're using over there. And they say over there's a recommended weight limit of 250 pounds, and we ask our guests to be within a reasonable range of this limit. So it's not Disney, it's, I think, Segway saying, hey, these are the optimal, this is the most really the device can handle. And I think you have to be, so like Len said, if you're a smidge over, no problem. If you're another 100 pounds over, okay, then you got a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Next email.
Good.
Yeah. Next email's from.
Go ahead.
Oh, please, go ahead, Len.
I'm done. That's
okay.
it.
Justin Hooper of Plymouth, Massachusetts writes, hey, guys, is there a limit to the number of rooms I can book as a pass holder when they have special rates?
I think it's one. Is it one or two? Yeah, it's relatively small. It used to be 5. Now it's I think it's 1 or 2. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely limit it in terms of what it used to be. So unfortunately, I can't remember if it's 1 or 2.
I think you could do 2 because I could see how adults and kids would want to have connecting ramps. I don't think it's the number's higher than 2 though. I'm almost positive.
Okay.
In fact, I would bet lunch on it.
Ooh.
Mm.
Well, are we talking like Trails End lunch, or are we talking like, Yachtsman Steakhouse?
They have lunch? They're only open for dinner.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe somewhere in the parks. A counter service in the parks. What the heck?
Counter service? Bah! Don't waste my time.
A pittance.
If the Scopa was here, we'd say, bah!
Eat your gruel.
That's right. Next email is from Pam from Mobile, Alabama. Writes, my fiance and I are planning our honeymoon to the world very soon. I know it's going to be very hot and crowded when I go, but it's still Disney World, right? My family lives in Alabama, and we've always driven to the world. I had a voucher for Delta, so I purchased tickets for us to fly. Then I remember that we're not old enough to rent a car, old enough to get married and teach middle school, but not rent a car. Anyway.
In Alabama, what is that, 15?
Save the jokes.
Sorry, Pam, go ahead.
We're staying at the Dolphin because I got a great educator's rate there. Then I learned not only can we not rent a car, but we also can't use Disney's Magical Express. Are we totally screwed? Will there be... I guess,
why can't they use Magical Express?
It's not a Disney resort.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Will there be a shuttle from the airport, or will we have to take a taxi? I know you can walk to Epcot and the studios from the Dolphin, but it's like a 5-minute... But is it like a 5-minute hike, or is it not a bad walk? Okay, or 5-mile hike, rather. Let's start with the getting from the airport to the Swan and Dolphin. In that case, I'm looking... One of the things you can do is do Mears rather than rent a taxi cab, and Mears is going to be a lot cheaper. It's a great service. It is Magical Express. They're the ones that run Magical Express. And
what is it, around $18, $20 a person?
I think it's even less than that.
Yeah, something like maybe 16. Yeah.
Yeah, for 2 people. I mean, when you get to 2 people, you could kind of argue between is it cheaper to go with a taxi or not. But I think Mears will be cheaper for you because it's round trip. And so you book it and same idea, they'll give you a time. What time is your flight? Okay. They have like a shuttle leaving every 20 minutes or something like that. Mm-hmm. So, and they'll come there and then they'll come pick you up from your resort also. It's a great service. I've used it before when I stayed off site. I have no problems with it. Definitely check that. I think that's going to be your most economical option, especially if you can't rent a car. Now, as for the walk from the Dolphin to the studios in Epcot, It's a walk.
That's a pretty decent hike. That's like a 20, 25-minute walk.
Yeah, I mean, considering you guys are young people, I think it wouldn't be a terrible problem. If I was bringing my mother, I wouldn't do it. But I've done the walk many times.
When are they going?
Let's just say very soon.
I hope the trip went well. And August. Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, depending on the weather, I would say, if you're going in like February and it's very nice out and I might enjoy a nice walk out, absolutely. In the middle of summer, not so much. I would take the bus or the boat. Don't forget the boat also stops there.
Yeah, the only thing with the boat during summer is, dude, it's hot and the smell of diesel exhaust. I mean, unless you're trying to get high, I don't know that.
Oh, I love the smell. I love the smell of diesel in the morning.
Smell of diesel exhaust and sweat. Yeah, so it's diesel exhaust, sweat, and sunscreen. It's a winning combination. Exactly. I remember standing out, and the yacht club, they got that little pier thing by the lighthouse,
right,
waiting for the boat, and for whatever reason, the boat that we were trying to get on wasn't coming in, but another boat kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I just remember sitting there one time, I was like, what the hell am I doing here? It smells. All of you smell. The diesel exhaust smells. It's hot. I'm walking. So I took off and walked. It was like, this is just crazy. I'm leaving. I went and got a drink and walked to the studio. So it was insane. Anyway.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Next email's from.
Anyway, good luck with the wedding. Hope it went well.
Yeah, I hope it went really well. Next email's from Lori, who writes, just a few questions regarding our 1-week stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge, September 16th through the 23rd. We're using free dining special for our stay and have 2 toddlers ages 2 and 4 years old. Is there any chance we might receive a free room upgrade at Animal Kingdom Lodge during our stay? We booked a standard king. If not, should I upgrade now? We'll be touring 4 to 5 days, resting 2 days. We plan on naps after lunchtime with more touring in the late afternoon.
I think because of the popularity of free dining, the odds of getting an upgrade are pretty small.
Yeah,
I would go ahead and book now.
Yeah, I would say that you definitely should just go on there. You can't bank on upgrades. I mean, I've only been upgraded one time. It was at Mousefest. It was kind of, I don't know. I think it's very random. I wouldn't bank on it at all. It's not like something that happens very often, I think. So definitely, if you want to be there, go for it. If you think it might be nice, well, then maybe you want to roll the dice on it and bat your eyes at the person behind the desk and tell them about how arduous your trip was, and maybe you'll get something. I don't know.
You know what you could say too? You can say your kids' names are Boma and Jico.
That's right. Lori adds, are the refillable mugs worth it? We'll use it 2 to 3 times per day for 6 days. Is juice included? Juice is not included.
No, juice is not included.
It's just soft drinks like Coke and water.
Yeah, unless you're considering high C, I think. Yeah, but it's not. So.
Yeah.
Let's see, 2 to 3 times a day for 6 days, so 12 times. Yeah, probably then it would, but even then it's just barely break even.
Yeah, you might want to.
Wait, what am I saying? No, 12 times? No, $2, it's $24, it's $12, $13 for a thing. Yeah, it is. It's better. It's a good deal.
Yeah, you also might consider maybe getting a couple for the family as opposed to getting one for each person. That might be a little bit of overkill unless you're germaphobes. But since they're your family, I'm thinking maybe you're okay with them.
You've already reached, was it homeostasis?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Everyone's got the same germs.
That's right. Plus, my mother always told me that it's impossible for her to get sick from one of her children. It's just, and I believe everything my mother always told me. So.
I think your mom lied to you, but okay, whatever. That's cool.
One last question from Lori here to round it out for this episode. Is it feasible, given our children's ages, to leave Animal Kingdom during extended evening hours and drive, we have a free rental car, to Magic Kingdom to see the parade and fireworks? If so, what time should we leave, and what viewing location should we choose?
2 and 4? The kids are 2 and 4?
Yes, 2 and 4.
Dude, that's a heck of it. The only problem with the drive is then you've got to take the monorail or the ferry to the Magic Kingdom. And they're kind of young, and it's going to be tired and kind of cranky. I mean, if you're taking naps, you can kind of do it, but try it once and see what happens.
Yeah, I think the other thing is, I would think first of all you should take the bus because you'll avoid the.
I would definitely say take the bus too.
The monorail and everything like that. If you want to go last minute, if you try to want to like show up and bam, there's the fireworks. I mean, obviously you're going during a slow time of the year, so that's good. That works to your advantage. I would suggest seeing the fireworks when you get in. I mean, obviously try to get a spot wherever you can, because when you're getting last minute, I mean, beggars can't be choosers. So try to see.
Yeah, they're gonna get a spot right by the train station entrance to the Magic Kingdom if they're arriving that late.
The only other option you could possibly do is go to like the Polynesian or one of the Magic Kingdom resorts and watch it from the beach over there. The kids will love it because they can just play in the sand. They don't even care about the fireworks. 2 and 4-year-olds probably won't have the attention span to really pay, but they'll love the sand, and you and your husband can enjoy the show.
Yeah, and if they get tired, you can put them on the hammocks. That's actually not a bad idea.
So there you go.
I knew you were ready to have kids.
Yep, that's me. Just
All right.
I'm ready to take over that unofficial guide to pregnancy, which does exist.
Yeah, it does actually. It does.
Very good. Well, that's it for us today. Hopefully someone will be joining us on another show. Otherwise, it's just going to be me next episode.
It's like a bad Twilight Zone thing where
Right.
like the team just disappears one at a time.
Right.
I was just trying to think, though, what does the research team look like for the unofficial guide to pregnancy? Go ahead.
I don't know.
And on that note,
Exactly. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the Walt Disney World Today website at wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.